More than anything else, what I tell young people is, first of all, you've got to find that thing about which you're passionate. It might be literature, it might be medicine, it might be law, whatever it is that you want to take on. Find that about which you're passionate. I'll never forget when I was a sophomore at Brown. I came home from school and my father picked me up at the airport, which was about 30 miles down the road from the small town in Iowa that I lived in. And my father asked me, so Jim, what are you going to study? And I said, Dad, I think I want to study philosophy and political science. And so my father slowly put the brakes on and edged the car over to the side of the road. He looked over at me and he said, look, when you finish your residency, you can study anything you want. So it was a message that was very clear coming from my very practical dentist father. He said it to me in those words. He said, look, you're a Korean living in an American society. You need a real skill. I don't want you to tackle problems from a philosophical or political perspective only. I want you to have some sort of practical skill so that you come to the world knowing how to do something and not just how to think. Now here he was talking to me when he knew that my mother was a PhD in philosophy. So I had these two very different strains in my life, but I can't tell you how grateful I am to my father for ensuring that I went to medical school. Because I think in all the problems that I've taken on, I haven't come at it from a purely philosophical or political perspective. On one level, I'm a very practically oriented physician that's trying to solve problems so that people can live. On the other hand, I never gave up my interest in philosophy and politics, and therefore I studied anthropology. And so I'm very interested in the philosophical and political aspects of these problems. But first and foremost, I'm oriented towards solving practical problems. And I hope I can bring that with me to Dartmouth. You know, there are going to be a lot of practical problems that we've got to solve. There are going to be people with a huge, broad range of political and philosophical opinions about how to do that. But at the end of the day, we've got to solve the problems. We've got to be practical, and we have to be focused on the outcome. For me, interaction with young people, teaching, mentoring, is just enjoyable. It is very difficult to walk away from a group of young people talking about how it is that they want to change the world and not be yourself a little bit invigorated and in fact remoralized, I would call it. It gives you a sense that the world is a moral place and that excitement and energy and enthusiasm to change it is really what makes the world go around. So I get a lot from being around young people. More than anything else, what I tell young people is, first of all, you've got to find that thing about which you're passionate. It might be literature, it might be medicine, it might be law, whatever it is that you want to take on. Find that about which you're passionate. And then really understand what your greatest aspirations are in achieving something that will be lasting in that particular area of your passion. And then I do everything I can to equip them with everything they need to reach those aspirations. You can't imagine I can't imagine a better job than that. And when I'm interacting with young people and teaching them, I kind of wonder, my gosh, are they really paying me to do this? One of the things I'm most proud of is that as an individual and along with Partners in Health, we've tackled problems that the world had said were intractable. We were told that it's impossible to treat people in poor countries who are suffering from a form of tuberculosis that's resistant to the standard drugs. We were told that it was impossible, it was too expensive. But we took on that problem, and in the face of incredible doubt in the public health and global health community, we took on the problem, we treated the patients, we showed that it could be done, we lowered the prices of the drugs, and now people all over the world have access to treatment. HIV treatment for people living with HIV was a similar problem. They said it was impossible, forget it, completely impractical, and we started doing it in Haiti, and now we have close to 4 million people in the poorest countries receiving treatment for HIV. What was so significant about those events for me was that I was told that something was impossible, and yet I knew that the highest aspirations that the people suffering from those problems had, and the aspirations that I knew I should have for them, was to make it happen, to make it possible for them to live with these diseases, and we were able to do that. I really want to bring that sense of infinite possibility to students at Dartmouth. You know, these are the brightest, most competitive students in the entire world. And there's no reason that they can't take on the biggest problem they can imagine and not only be successful in understanding it, but be successful in solving some of those problems. Indeed, the world's troubles are our troubles, and they can take on those troubles and make them significantly less troubling.